for the continent to develop, peace and stability is key. This is according to the Finance Minister, Gigaba, who is said to participate in several discussions and meet with business and other government leaders at the World Economic Forum. He spoke to our foreign editor, Sophie Mukwena.
To me that there hasn't been a very coherent way of engagement among the different ministers looking at the totality of the challenges presented by the continent and how we act together in our different spheres to work towards realizing the objectives of Agenda 2063. There is a greater need for us to align our activities so that we don't act in our different silos, because those of us who are managing the economy are interested in the peace, and those who are managing the peace process are also interested in economic development, because there is a direct relationship between the two. And so there will have to be greater conversations, not only at the heads of states level, but at the level of the ministers, to focus on all the important building blocks of Agenda 2063 and what we need to do in order to realize those objectives. But Agenda 2063 already points us towards what we need to do, and I think with that framework we are in a much better position to engage, because we would like to see African countries, especially stronger economies, not retreating in terms of their African peace and stability commitments. Countries like South Africa have to continue playing an increasing role in ensuring peace and stability on the African continent, so that we can see our economies flourishing, our countries stabilizing, and to ensure that we manage the migration of people in a better way, in a safe way, and people migrate out of choice in order to make a positive contribution to the economies of the rest of the continent.
And from foreign again, the other question is the issue of the famine that has become a problem on the continent. We saw what happened in South Sudan, in Somalia, and that part of Kenya. We saw the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, visiting the continent. Are we doing enough as the continent to help those countries that are experiencing drought?
You know, the question of how much are we doing, or how much do we think we are doing in terms of those who are experiencing drought and famine, will forever remain a heated debate, because you may think you are doing enough, and the people who are the recipients of your support may feel that you are not doing enough. I think we do need to continue increasing our efforts, but we can only act within the resources capacity that we have. And we need to try and increase those resources. So there is a correlation between stabilizing our countries, increasing our resources by growing our economies, so that we can be able to contribute towards the peace and development effort on the African continent. We are willing to continue to play our role. And for us to be able to do that, we must have strong economies backing us up. Because at the end of the day, Africa must rely on her own resources to address the challenges that we face. We cannot continue to go to the outside world and ask them to help us resolve the problems that we ourselves create. We need to resolve our own problems using African leadership and African solutions, as well as African resources, so that we can continue to affirm our independence and sovereignty as a continent. If we have to go and seek assistance from somebody else, it must be because from what we have, we've done everything and have reached our limit.